Jin felt discouraged because he understood better than anyone else what would happen, as he was the victim who had experienced that feeling of despair. The fate of low-level hunters would inevitably lead to death. Jin recalled that day, the day he stood in front of the statistics board for low-level hunters. Every day was a battle for survival for them, almost counting down each day as half of the low-level hunters, especially the pressured ones, either disappeared or flawed. The remaining half either died or were left disabled, with scenes of mourning and tragedy occurring continuously day after day. There were countless low-level hunters who perished inside the dungeons. Blaming words echoed everywhere, but Jin was a special case because his skill was a blessing in disguise. He always survived, but that's what made him scorned, beaten, discriminated against, and resented. Why? Why are you always the only one left alive? If people aren't dead, they're disabled. So why are you the only one still okay? These were the biting remarks he had to hear every day. He suddenly became the target of others' anger, as they believed he had secretly received help from a higher power to survive. A series of terrible articles with vicious words attacked him and his younger brother, making them hated figures. Not only that, but rapid developments without the need for Abbas's assistance also targeted him. This was when people around him began to call Jin by derogatory nicknames, and this was when he was hurt by others, and his hands were stained with blood. It was horrifying days, akin to living in hell. Jin's train of thought was interrupted when Sim called him. Startled awake from the terrible memories, Jin couldn't hide his anxiety and fear of what he had been through. Although life now was different, those terrible memories couldn't be let go. Sim calmly asked why Jin seemed worried, reassuring him that even if things didn't go as planned, he wouldn't be harmed. Jin's mood remained unstable, and he was about to say something when the chairman returned, prompting him to hold back for now. This time, he brought someone with him, saying that this was the advertising team of the association responsible for promoting the Awakening Center. The appearance of this man made Jin tense up, his eyes gradually becoming bewildered. That despicable name. He couldn't forget him. Jun remembered that terrible memory, the day he was assaulted by his henchmen just to get high-level items without hesitation. They expected Jun to not spare good items if he begged, and the man behind that was none other than this scoundrel. He introduced himself as Lai Dongquan from the propaganda team of the Hunter Association. Jin tried to remain calm. After all, he and this man were not acquainted. Dongquan eagerly invited Jin to participate in their awakening program, explaining his plan and stating that Jin was the most suitable candidate they were looking for. Perhaps low-level hunters and those who hadn't awakened yet didn't truly understand his intentions. For whatever reason, he wanted to find low-level hunters who hadn't awakened yet. He continued, saying that Jin, despite being a pressured hunter, had garnered attention from the media and his clients were very interested in this. The chairman added that by participating just once, Jin could increase the number of followers, creating an opportunity to promote the center. Upon awakening to find the two men from the association extending an invitation, Jin felt somewhat pressured, so Sim Dong intervened. But suddenly, Jin agreed, his demeanor shifting 180 degrees from contemplative to oddly cheerful. Ha ha, no problem. Appearing on a TV show isn't a big deal. The unexpected U-turn left Sim Dong holding his head in worry, muttering, what just happened? What should I tell the chairman? Jin accepted with his own agenda in mind. He was certain he would disrupt this darned plan. Joining hands with Lai Dongquan, Dai thought he and others were demons specialized in kidnapping and threatening pressured hunters, but now it seemed the association was even more rotten than he had imagined. Even after the meeting at the Hunter Association, Jin couldn't forget that guy. You remember the time we first entered the dungeon with them? Rin was excited and felt lucky to join this team. They're quite famous for having low-ranked hunters who are not their members, with 2 C rankers and 5 D rankers. Their team formation is quite good, and they also have a good image, but little did anyone know about the sinister deeds they always carry out in the darkness. Yes, the dark deeds of these villains involve hunting low-ranked hunters and those not awakened yet, manipulating them for their own gain. And you're also a victim of these villains, led by Lai Dong. The scene shifts to today's TV studio where Jin and Piss are going on air as part of the Hunters Association promotion plan. NC enthusiastically introduces, ladies and gentlemen, the father of the monster hunter Han Jin and the cute son of a fire mage, Peace. Look at the face of this dad. He doesn't like that nickname. Father of the monster. Do you, Peace? Today, Peace and Jin will participate in a challenge, which is basketball. And the ball is none other than Peace himself. Everyone is excited, but there are still many thoughts lingering. They say it's about opening up, but I wonder if I really need to do this for revenge. I've already achieved that. That day, I killed all those villains. What X-Dong said is true. I shouldn't get involved with people like them again. And even when the Awakening Center opens, it has nothing to do with me anymore. The important thing now is to watch these two kids play. After some initial hesitation, Piss throws the ball. Looking at the tense expression, it's probably going to miss. But not this time. The innate ability of Peace, the power to fly, fiercely flaps his tiny wings. Surprisingly, he's actually flying, to the amazement of everyone at the studio. Cheers and applause fill the air as Peace successfully passes through the basketball hoop. He did it. He's truly defied gravity. Both Peace and Piss have satisfied expressions as they successfully complete this incredible throw. Suddenly, a fan sitting next to Jin stands up and shouts, "You're the best. You did it, Peace. Let's clap and celebrate." Jin, startled, tries to stop them. "Hey, don't approach him, it's too late." With a loud thud, Peace receives a high five from Piss a bit too vigorously. Everyone rushes to call for help. Luckily, the handsome guy is okay, just a bit sore. Jin also stays calm. He has to hug Piss and apologize. This Peace kid is too much. Where did he get the nerve to hit an idol, especially the most handsome face needed to make money? This guy is really friendly. He doesn't blame anyone but himself. He apologizes for getting in the way. What he says next surprises Jin even more. A scar from Peace is like a gift. If I weren't famous, I'd surely keep it as a memento. He continues, "That's my dream, to join the world's guilds and be their stepping stone." Jin senses that this idol guy is good-hearted but a bit eccentric. He uses his skills to observe him further. This guy, if awakened, could reach B rank. Not only that, he has up to 3 A rank skills, all related to his appearance. Jin knows he can't achieve these levels or skills if awakened in the association. Should he use keywords or not? He's about to but stops abruptly because there are a bunch of people staring. Not only that, saying "I love you" on TV would be digging his own grave. This guy is really attractive with that mesmerizing beauty, making everyone admire him. Rin also realizes that he doesn't need to awaken or have those skills to be attractive. With a face like that, he can do whatever he wants. But why can't I remember him from before? If he's famous, I must have seen him somewhere. While the two were engrossed in conversation, a voice asks how Han's wound is, and Lai Dong appears. "I'm really sorry. I'm the one who invited you to Han." Han smiles back. "I'm fine. Thank you for helping me meet Peace." Jin was quite surprised to see them seeming so familiar, but Hajun explained that they had only met for the first time today. Lan Wan said they had a plan to support Hajun as best as they could. Jin knew well enough that these were just empty words. Hajun would only become a money-making tool for Lan Wan. He would easily manipulate him with illusions of becoming a hunter. Perhaps he would become a victim of Lan Wan's gang, led by this guy. That might be why PK Hajun couldn't become famous in his previous life. Jin turned to Hajun and mentioned wanting to give him a plush doll resembling Peace. Of course, Hajun was extremely delighted. Jin befriending Hajun has a purpose. He wants to leverage this opportunity to approach the Gon gang. He plans to eliminate them before they cause harm to thousands of low-level hunters and unsuspecting people outside. Unfortunately, when Jin found the pit plush toy, it was already destroyed due to Jerem's mischief. Nevertheless, Jin decided to take a photo and send it to Hajun. He wants to exploit this chance to initiate a conversation and inquire about whether the advertising team of the association had contacted him. Hajun responded, thanking Jin for helping him wake up and even sending a stuffed doll. Jin, unaware of this, asked Hajun about it. Hajun replied that Lai Dongquan had visited him because Jin had asked Dongquan, who said he would provide him with an experience of a dungeon in development before its opening. Jin hurriedly messaged back, claiming he had never said anything like that before and hadn't heard of such a dungeon. Hajun responded with a puzzled question mark. Jin hastily asked where Hajun was, to which Hajun replied that he had to turn off his phone. Jujin continued to inquire via messages, but received no response, so he called, but the line was truly disconnected. He couldn't reach Hejun. Jujin, worried sick, cursed those scoundrels for using his name to deceive Hejun. At this moment, he was with the group of people related to the designated location. It was Hejun who had turned off his phone, citing the need to save battery. He handed his phone to someone in the group, saying Jujin wanted to prevent him from realizing his dream of becoming a famous hunter, leading him astray. They reassured him that Dong Quan, the association's person, wouldn't put him in danger and encouraged him to step in and return as an awakened hunter, fulfilling his aspirations. They cheered him on, naive to the fact that the first sight of the dungeon overwhelmed him. This trust boosted Hejun's confidence, but he didn't know that behind that dungeon door lay hell for him. At Jujin's home, he was restless, unable to contact Hejun or call the police, fearing it would cause chaos due to his fame and association with the Hunters Association. Jujin racked his brain for feasible solutions, needing to locate the dungeon. Hejun had entered before the door closed. Suddenly, Jujin remembered a phone number. He hoped it matched with the future. It was the number of a detective agency. Without hesitation, Jujin dialed. Luckily, someone picked up. This guy, named Hammond, was an information broker specialized in locating people. Jujin expressed his need to find someone to track down Han. Remembering Hammond's number was a stroke of luck for Jujin. Hammond quickly activated his skill, CH, connecting it to Jujin's request. This skill allowed him to calculate the target's location using the phone numbers of individuals associated with the target. Hammond would soon become a prominent information provider among hunters. Previously, Jujin had some trouble with this guy, causing him headaches. Hammond's pen skill lit up and automatically pointed to a spot on the map. That was where Han was. I'll send his location once I receive payment, Hammond said. It cost a considerable sum, leaving Jujin somewhat regretful. But the urgency of the situation forced him to grit his teeth and transfer the money. After sending the payment, Jujin said, "Your skills are as sharp as ever. I'll see you soon." Hammond's name being mentioned startled him. "Who are you and how do you know my name?" he exclaimed, but before Jujin could say anything else, he abruptly shut down the device. He had already pinpointed Jun's location just as the dungeon door was about to close. Hesitantly, he quickly made some preparations and hurriedly set off to avoid his younger brother and a group of nuisances lurking around. Jujin activated his stealth skill, allowing him to conceal his movements perfectly even when the enemies were actively searching. This was a skill he acquired during his solo sweep of the dungeon. Meanwhile, the Gozen Guild was still focused on exterminating monsters. Han, trembling with fear, closed his eyes tightly and crouched behind him, completely terrified. He embraced Han out of fear, then abruptly shifted to embrace another member of Gozen. Irritated, he gave him a push and loudly scolded, "Keep quiet and stay put." Instead of injuring the monsters further, "Do you want to attract attention just because you're famous?" The lifestyle official appeared friendly as he approached Han, patting his shoulder reassuringly. "Don't worry, my friend. Don't act like that. He's just scared. He hasn't fully awakened yet." His concern made Han feel somewhat uneasy. "You should learn from him here before that," he stuttered. Dong, the cunning official, laughed deviously, patting Han's head. "You're too naive. How can you survive in society like this? There will be others who deceive you." Han felt a bit uneasy hearing this. Just then, a member of the group spoke up as the timer returned to 0. "I think it's time," Leung said, chuckling. "So, shall we begin?" Han, still oblivious, hadn't realized anything was wrong with this group. Before he could grasp anything, Leung grabbed him by the collar. "Time's up," he said, delivering a ruthless slap without mercy. To others, that slap might seem like a small punishment, but for Han, it was like being thrown miles away, completely vulnerable to their schemes. They proceeded to drag him into the dungeon as the gate closed behind them, leaving Han to look like a leaf blown by the wind. Leung laughed heartily, enjoying the scene. "Ha ha ha! Look at him flying. Now you can run anywhere you want." Do you want Han to experience both pain and fear? Why do you do this? What did I do wrong? Han looked like a delicious prey, and Leung's words were like a predator's call. Han's vacant eyes responded to whatever he said. "You have such a beautiful face. Do you want to become a fake awakened? You should be grateful for what you were born into. Dreams should only be dreams. Your path should only lead to fame. You should be thankful for the advice I'm giving you. Agree to all the TV shows and advertisements, or whatever you're suggested. 90% of your profit will have to be given to us. Are you okay with that? Han unconsciously nodded in agreement, completely under his control. Just when everything seemed settled, Han suddenly burst into tears. But I still want to become a hunter. I don't know how. Han's plea only resulted in more blows without hesitation. His team stood behind, not knowing how Han could escape the mind control. But seeing Han being beaten so severely, Leon had to intervene, restraining his team from hitting him in the face. But Leon, frustrated by his failed skill, ruthlessly hit Han like a torn blanket, using violence to break his spirit even further. Poor Han, weak and helpless, was being tortured by these villains, unable to resist. Just as they were about to continue their dirty deeds, a loud voice interrupted them, accusing them of discrimination. You guys are showing favoritism, aren't you? Jujin emerged from hiding, startling these villains, who were now worried. A hunter of Class C, Jujin confidently confronted them. Despite facing a group of fake people, he remained calm. He passed through them effortlessly, as if escaping no one. Approaching Han, Jujin gently supported him in his weakened state. Are you the one who brought him here to save me? Han asked anxiously. Jujin calmly replied, No, I didn't bring anyone with me. Han cried, worried. You came alone. Jujin simply replied, Yes, I thought you wouldn't want many witnesses to this scene. Just as the group realized that Jujin was alone, one of them, Gozen, immediately attempted a sneak attack. However, it didn't faze Jujin at all. Meanwhile, Gozen's baton was bent out of shape. Gozen, puzzled, exclaimed, What's wrong with it? Lidong, surprised, couldn't believe it. I've checked his information, but he's more alert than I thought. Lidong suspected that Jujin had brought defensive items. They drew their weapons, aiming at Jujin, intending to attack. But Jujin remained calm as ever, unfazed by the crowd. Well, I came here to see if you guys are still the same as before, and it seems you are. We've known each other before, remember? Though you don't trust me, all of you don't understand. Jujin said. Puzzled faces greeted his words, but they knew that if they couldn't make Jujin disappear, they would surely pay a heavy price. Jujin continued, I thought forgetting about you all would be fine, but no, you guys keep destroying others' lives. Jujin reached to remove his defensive earring, switching it to protect Hejun. Jujin's confidence also made this group hesitant to act. You keep committing crimes, even smuggling others' information through the despicable Jangan. We can't ignore whatever you intend to do. One member of the group took advantage of Jin's distraction and sneakily approached from behind, pouncing on Jujin's shoulders, laughing gleefully. So, we'll get double the money now. This idiot doesn't know that Jujin came here alone, surely well prepared. His actions were no different from suicide. Jujin's arms wrapped around the attacker's neck, laughing. I bet you have valuable equipment, but you're just a thug. Do you think you can elevate your rank to Class C with equipment alone? The siblings cleaned up its belongings while waiting for it to return like a flock of birds scavenging carcasses. But the joy hadn't ended. While Tae Gang was already paying the price, suddenly a fire erupted from Jujin, destroying one member of the group immediately. The eyes of the others widened in panic. They withdrew from Jujin, scrambling away from the raging fire cautiously. He had concealed a weapon at the Jupiter Consortium headquarters. Sung Hum was having a conversation with Evelyn, an S-Class hunter he had invited from Edquark. They were discussing the loss of 2 S-Class hunters in Korea. Evelyn believed it wasn't urgent unless it affected dealing with situations in the dungeons. Did they need more awakened S-Class hunters accredited in Korea? Sung Hum informed Evelyn that Noah and JS had also been in Korea for a while. And now Evelyn was here with the Jupiter Consortium, a fiery and beautiful S-Class hunter, much admired. Sung Hum continued, stating it was just part of their mission. Everyone was trying to expand their influence. Evelyn responded, implying such things wouldn't change even if the world did. Sung Hum hinted at dealing with societal parasites before it was too late, mentioning he had set up a secret trap for that purpose. Evan asked about the trap. Sung Hum clarified that Jujin was just an oppressor rank, wondering if he could handle it. Sung Hum was impressed by his skills, but didn't let Evelyn finish. Sung Hum interjected, suggesting she could expect that and find it interesting. Kang, so Dong was also surprised by recent events in the dungeon a few days ago. Eveline raised her hand to touch her full, red lips, expressing doubt about whether he was truly an oppressor. She wondered if he was going to the dungeon with him. She suggested he should feel scared being around him. Sung Hum chuckled, finding it interesting. He believed he was very different. Instead of calling him stubborn, Sung Hum implied there was more to him. Back in the dungeon with Jujin, he was alone fighting against the mafia, an oppressor against an entire team of C-class oppressors. However, the advantage was entirely different. Jujin was single-handedly defeating each opponent within the Gozen Guild. With 2 swords in hand, Jujin was like a war god. He easily broke through the encirclement of the mob. His sword strikes made many of them regret. They never thought their heavily armed group would fall to a single oppressor. Although an oppressor had limitations in terms of strength and speed compared to a larger enemy, it was still challenging to attack and defend simultaneously. Jujin had been ambushed several times, but he had prepared everything carefully. Every time an attack came from behind, Jujin's defensive shield would block it. While defending, he managed to launch a surprise attack. He kicked one guy directly in the face while he was staggering. Following through, he swung his sword swiftly, severing the left foot of the attacker. The mob couldn't retaliate as one of their teammates was seriously injured. One member of the group, angry at the sight, attempted a surprise attack from behind, moving so fast that Jujin couldn't react in time. When he realized, the guy's hand was already close to his face, grabbing his head. Jujin was pressed forcefully to the ground, covered in rocks. The attacker laughed triumphantly. He guessed even Jujin's defensive items couldn't stop this kind of attack. While pressing him down, he threatened, "I'll squeeze you till you can't breathe anymore." Before he could finish his sentence, a large shadow swiftly approached from above. A massive figure with monstrous claws came crashing down. Luckily, his reaction was swift enough. Otherwise, he would have been crushed like a tomato under Piss's attack. Jujin yelled to Piss, "You need to save your strength to clear the dungeon. I'll deal with these scoundrels." Back to Sung Hum. He continued talking about Jujin, his words filled with fascination when mentioning him. "He is really strange. What I've gathered about him is so peculiar. He has no criminal record. Surely he has had a normal life, but sometimes I can sense in his eyes. It seems he has killed more than a few people. He is truly vigilant. He observes very keenly. Just a few encounters, and he could see through Jujin's secret." Inside the dungeon, Jujin has also finished his business. The wretches have been subdued by his blade. Jujin mutters to himself. This time, he didn't need to resort to gratitude for having lived another life in the past. Indeed, he had to struggle a lot. Yes, it's different from the difficult past when he was just a bottom feeder of society, like prey for others to trample upon. Now, he has better stats thanks to his equipment. Not only that, but he also has skills to disable damage. Besides, Piss has also helped a lot. He also has 5 years of facing life and death. But with this scoundrel, under normal circumstances, I would have called the police. But no, with the intervention of the guild, surely the police wouldn't do anything. But if I let him live and investigate the guild's connections, I need to eliminate any evidence that could be detrimental to me. I don't need to defend or understand this clearly. Finally, I failed to forget all the resentment I accumulated since then. Although I didn't want to, Jujin, to avoid trouble and to let these scoundrels continue to harm people. Along with that is the resentment he had to endure from them in his past life. None of these villains are allowed to exist in this world. Even Jujin embraces peace, apologizing for letting him see these terrible things. The dungeon will be reset after clearing the corpses, so there will be no evidence left. Shortly after, Ha-jun wakes up. By this time, Jujin's father and son have also finished cleaning the dungeon and are taking him out. He hastily asks the others where Jujin is. Jujin had to respond with a lie, saying that they had been captured by the Hunters Guild and demanded secrecy because it was an important secret. The young father riding on Pit's back looks no different from a happy child. "I'm riding on Pit. It's the best thing. I'll keep this secret. I'll keep it forever in my mind." It turns out that he didn't faint. He saw everything Jujin saved him. Alone, Jujin fought the despicable scoundrels. How did everything Jujin did protect him? He truly appreciates Jujin. In his eyes, Jujin is now his hero, the finest hunter, A dark hero hiding his true power. Ha ha, don't worry, I'll keep this secret. Can I call you my big brother? Don't go home after this rescue inside the dungeon. Ju-jin is still immersed in his own thoughts. He opens his skill board and stares at that skill, finally remembering the scene when he was once bullied in his past life and he took action against one of them. That was the only time Ju-jin used his influence with the intention to kill and take their skills to fight against them, whether he wanted to or not. The truth is still the truth. Thanks to this skill, he has survived many times spectacularly. I had planned to live a life and forget about him because I thought I would never be involved with him again. Ju-jin picks up his phone, dials a number, and stays silent, waiting until there's a response from the other end, which makes Ju-jin brighten up again. They are still alive, the people who reached out to help me and the ones who died. That voice, something I thought I would never hear again. The other end keeps asking, but Ju-jin remains silent, not answering. It takes a moment before he apologizes. I dialed the wrong number. Have a good day. He puts the phone down, and Ju-jin sinks back into his own thoughts. We don't know each other anymore, but at that moment, we were both living in hardship, where we had to face danger when infiltrating the dungeon. How happy we were, and how sorrowful I was to witness their deaths. If the center of awakening is opened, people will wake up again and become hunters, and they will have to face the invasion of the dungeon in that chaos. I remember vividly those eyes, Jin's eyes that radiated determination. If I couldn't forget, then I couldn't ignore. The next morning at the ABS headquarters, Jin arrived early to meet with my younger brother. Sim-dong was also present. Jin wanted to discuss the Awakening Center with both Sim-dong and me. Sim-dong thought Jin still had concerns about the place, so he intended to cut Jin off and get straight to the point. If you need a high-priority awakening, Sim-dong said, I can find them for you faster. There's a way to awaken people suited to their abilities rather than forcing them to fight and face danger. Jin seemed like he was about to reveal a secret, so Sim-dong interrupted him. I possess secret skills. Transfer them to the association. Cooperate with me to slow down the progress of the Awakening Center. This time, Jin would publicly reveal the skills capable of detecting the level of artificial awakening in both Sim-dong and me, promising skills for both budding potential and skilled individuals. Today's events would mark the beginning of a significant change. The Hunters Guild had decayed at the mall where hundreds of thousands passed through daily. Jin and his entourage came here to enjoy themselves. The task force would search for individuals with high-level awakening potential using their unique skills. But truly awakened individuals were rare, maybe one in hundreds of millions. Most of the time, only levels E and F were spotted, and even level D was scarce. Jin, aside from being slightly bored, was disappointed that there wasn't much action. What was even more frustrating was the bunch of kids here, not knowing if they came to work or to have fun. Even Jim forgot his role as a guard and was now just a kid eyeing the tempting ice cream. Sim-dong, on the other hand, was fixated on the dragon-shaped bottle. Mrs. A was deliberately thick-faced, mainly here to see how deeply rooted our skills were. Haha. I'm here to see your skills. You've had them since kindergarten, promising to be able to see the potential indicators of someone's awakening and the most suitable skills for them. But you've never talked about this to anyone except Ju-hun. But why is Mrs. Hana here? Backtracking to early morning, Jin had directly met with Sim-dong and Du-hun to reveal that he had the skill to detect the potential of unawakened individuals. As Sim-dong finished listening, his body trembled, stuttering with no restrictions. So, can you search for special skills like yours, me and you? Jin beamed proudly in front of Sim-dong, shining like the sun, enlightening Sim-dong. Sim-dong ecstatically exclaimed, your skill is endless blessing. You could truly discover Jim's and ZMU skills. Jin puffed his chest, smirking arrogantly. Hey, that's just a coincidence. I'm proposing to use this skill for cooperation with the association. Jin was too absorbed in talking and didn't notice his brother was about to explode. You said you'd rest. What are you planning now? Jin's declaration surely had a premeditated plan, not letting his brother overshadow him. Jin spoke with authority, dropping the string, and said, listen up. We'll first divide those who will go to the Awakening Center. Those who come to me will have to wait longer, but in return, they'll know their optimal skills. For those with special status, we'll help them awaken by adjusting the environment accordingly. After some eavesdropping, Sim-dong vaguely understood. We'll reduce the number of people going to the Awakening Center while prioritizing the diversity of skills. But you'll have to work quite a bit for that. Sim-dong's words were a warning, and at the same time, Du-hun's thumb rope tightened around his wrist. If he failed to explain this time, he would surely be pushed into the cold palace, barred from working. Jin panicked and hastily tried to justify himself. Wait, don't do that. I'm just overseeing. The rest of the work will be delegated to others. Each person will only take 10 seconds, working only 1 hour a day, right, little brother? With a sneer, Du-hun replied, You're lying. You should have done that from the beginning. From the start, Jin sat high up, observing the passing crowd and marking the levels of those he observed. As he observed, he pondered. More than half of the people he observed were above level E. In the previous life, only 1 out of those who came to the Awakening Center was certified as a hunter. That meant many talents had been buried. If he were to advertise like this, he was just beginning to think about it, but Jin couldn't resist his bottomless greed. The number of people coming to the Awakening Center will surely decrease, he mused. But that was just what he thought. The truth depended on many factors. A few hours earlier, at the Awakening Center of the Hunters Association, president of the association, fresh as a daisy, handed you the authorization paper. What do you think? We've chosen you as our representative. Each guest will be screened by you before doing anything. Ju-jin expressed surprise at this proposal. He didn't want to cooperate, so he found an excuse to decline. That's not what I agreed to. I can't handle checking so many people. I don't have the capability. I'm just a rank E, Ju-jin said, not letting Yin continue. The president then put his hand on Ju-jin's shoulder, then enthusiastically exclaimed, Don't say that. You can do it. A young person like you should work for the benefit of society. When I was your age, I often worked until sunrise. It's nice to receive attention from the president. Ju-jin smiled brightly in response. I'll withdraw. I didn't expect everything to turn out like this. It's a bit too much. Ju-jin expressed his frustration, while Hana laughed cheerfully. Ha ha, the association is truly intriguing like that. So, what do you plan to do next? Are you going to give up everything? Of course not. Ju-jin couldn't just let go. He was still thinking, searching for another way. Han had understood the association well and reminded that they wouldn't easily let go. Jim asked what Hana meant, but Hana didn't answer, only asking how many people Ju-jin had recruited. Ju-jin slowly replied, 7 level B hunters, and 1 level A, and 1 level B with combat skills. I've sent them to the Awake Society, and they have successfully awakened. Hana continued seriously. See, that's a mid to high level lineup formed in just a few days. Your skills are formidable. It doesn't even require much money, unlike nurturing monsters. If you use it effectively, it's only a matter of time before you become one of the top 5 guilds. I can assure you the association is going crazy trying to control you. They can't do it alone. We're here, the sisterhood, united. Don't worry, we'll protect you. Without high-level hunters' protection, you'll become a pawn of malicious organizations. The sisterhood seemed enthusiastic. Hana continued, if they can't approach you directly, they'll go after your loved ones. They've already started with your younger brother. Ju-jin was surprised. Is there a problem with my brother? Noah, understanding the situation, tried to stop Hana from speaking further. Don't say any more. He needs rest. But Hana was straightforward. She didn't need to hide. She was also surprised that Ju-jin didn't know about the family issue. You really don't know. You don't follow news on the internet. Ju-jin scratched his head in response. Well, I don't like commenting on news from other sources. Hana took out her phone and handed it to him. Don't be old-fashioned. Take a look. Ju-jin was startled when he read the headline of the online article. Level a dungeon near Seven Guild HQ engulfed in flames amidst power struggle. Most hunters could evade the problems they cause unless there's harm to civilians. A dangerous image from a high-level hunter would only cause fear and concern among the people. But in recent days, the association hadn't hidden anything from Ju-jin's brother, Jim, showing concern. If he didn't cooperate, they would blame him. Noah also understood this issue well. He had been involved before. This was the power of the media. They almost had him. They would make Ju-jin deal with the issues caused by his brother. The existence of high-level hunters was already dangerous. That's why the association was agitating to make Do Hun act. If he fell into the trap they set, it would be enough to stir up the media. Instead of Jujin, surrounded and protected by S-rank hunters, not appearing in public, the association would use his brother to force him. Hana made her prediction. I'm sure you won't let yourself be controlled like that, but the president of the association is ruthless. It's only a matter of time before one of them acts. The conversation paused when Hana's phone received a warning message about a high-level hunter losing control in the restricted area. The warning seemed entirely accurate. Jujin's face was full of concern as he pointed to the TV. Above is an image of the headquarters of the Hunter Association engulfed in flames, with the new scroll clearly stating that the president of the Abyss Association is destroying the Hunter Association. The Awakening Center is ablaze, reminding Tao Thao that he warned you, right? But Jujin still remains somewhat calm, isn't it? No, it's not because Jujin is doing it. It's the look in your eyes. Trust in his younger brother. Of course, my younger brother wouldn't destroy something so trivial. Saying so firmly, but in reality, Jujin is worried sick. I need to go there right now. Can you take me there? Prompted by Jujin's urgent request, Noah immediately transforms into a dragon. Jujin hastily jumps onto Noah's back, and both of them shoot off at the fastest speed, completely trusting Jujin's ability to handle the situation, so they don't interfere in this private matter. Riding on Noah's back, they head to the association. Jujin is truly angry. I used my skills to help them, but they dare to use my younger brother to pressure me. Fine, I'll show them what happens if they try that. Don't ask why the sea is salty when you hear my younger brother is in trouble, because I'm having trouble at the Hunter Association's Awakening Center. Jujin and Noah immediately rush to it. At the fastest speed, Noah is a bit worried and asks, "Are you sure it will be okay?" Jujin looks troubled. Whatever happens, it's my responsibility. On the way, Jujin's mind is tormented by thoughts of everything his younger brother did to attract attention, all out of concern for him. If his younger brother's position is compromised because of it, it's no different from his past life. I'll definitely not let him suffer any further. Near the crumbling dungeon hall, close to the Awakening Center, three people are talking, apparently receiving orders from the Hunter Association to destroy this place and then spread the news on TV, blaming Du Han, who is busy discussing sabotage methods. From above comes Jujin's voice echoing, "Just destroy a tiny part. I guess it's just exaggerated in the news due to their camera angle." Jujin and Noah land, startling the three. "How did you get in here?" they ask. "We've blocked the entrance." But Jujin interrupts. "Are you ordered by the association to do this?" Immediately, cries of pain erupt. Without saying much to these people, Jujin instructs Noah to immobilize them, and the association's henchmen are taken away. Jujin takes out his phone, intending to take some good pictures as evidence, but a series of footsteps approach as reporters arrive. They've been here since when? The sudden appearance of the reporters surprises Jujin. All the journalists clamor to ask the same question. "Are you here to persuade your younger brother, Jujin?" Quite surprised, Jujin hurriedly explains, "No, it's not my younger brother. It's these people who cause all this." But the journalists don't listen to any explanation from him. They believe that those blinded individuals are attacking. The reporters keep asking if it's true. Hunter Han Hun is on the run. I heard. He's the one who made the specially designed Awakening prison disappear before dozens of witnesses. Continuously bombarded with sensitive questions, Han Jujin finds himself in a dilemma. He doesn't know how to unravel this. Jujin barely manages to say that the special prison disappeared because a dungeon hall appeared right there. The journalists keep bombarding him with questions, making it impossible for him to speak. "Is it true that your younger brother burned down the Hunter Association's dungeon hall, President Sudam? Is he arrested for the crime?" Normal people are now very worried about the crimes committed by S-class hunters. Can ABS contain President Sudam, or not? If an ordinary person is injured, instead of relying on the association, is there a way for them to protect themselves and seek help from medical personnel? Noah looks at Jujin, throat tight before the babbling journalists, appearing worried, but Jujin knows this is a trap set for him to step into. These reporters are not here to interview or investigate the scene. They already have conclusions and are ready to make things difficult for the two of them. Surely, the puppeteer behind this is the president of the Hunter Association. While Jujin is entangled in trouble, Jae-hun is no better off. He is also being hindered and is having a conversation with Tan Ju-hun without any courtesy. Straightforwardly, he tells them that they intentionally created a fake incident to keep me here. I really didn't know that the Hunter Association is now so rotten. Do you also agree with this action, my diligent colleague? The sharp-eyed young man replied curtly, I'm here just to make a personal request. Please don't create any more excuses for the association to take further punitive actions. I asked him what he meant, and he slowly responded, I know you're deliberately doing everything to give them a reason to target you. I know there's a faction within the Hunters Association aiming at Hunter Hanjin. Your plan isn't to overthrow everything as soon as they start, is it? I'll prevent what you fear from happening. I'll also request a repair report about the destruction of the association's building. So please cooperate with me so that the association won't target you anymore. Du Hyan slammed his hand on the table, a cold gleam in his eyes. After I questioned him, he said, Are you intending to cover up the rotten parts of the association? Are you planning to conceal that decay so it never leaks out? It seems this conversation is meaningless. I stood up to leave. All right, I don't care if you want to act like a lapdog of the association or not. I just want to eliminate anything that could threaten my brother. But why did you kill Jung-soo? Du Hyan didn't respond to that question directly, instead saying he could deal with it ruthlessly. If he disappears in the dungeon, I wouldn't have to do anything, he added. But I insisted, pulling back my hand. There were too many complications in this conversation. But this time, Du Hyan didn't give in. Flames flickered in his eyes, full of hostility. I thought this was supposed to be a personal favor. Could it be that the association requested him to prolong the time? Du Hyan laughed coldly. Fine, if you want, I can burn everything down here. Turn the fake rumors into reality. You're threatening me, aren't you? But I asked Du Hyan seriously. He didn't hesitate to reply. I'm still holding back. At this moment inside my head, there were thoughts. This feeling was like facing something non-human, especially Han Ju-hun, who was different from other ranked hunters. How could I successfully trap these wild beasts? They couldn't even be coerced. That's why the association's control was necessary. But if that coercive thread had snapped now, what should I do? At that moment, news images of Jun's appearance at the dilapidated building flashed. Jun ignored the tense argument with Sung-tu and quickly took out his tablet. While keeping an anxious look, he said, I think he's resting. Why are you here? Han Ju-hun's mood changed instantly. I'm still trying to hold myself back, he said. At this point, I couldn't help but think, not only about Jun, his younger brother, but also, when Hanjin got involved, everyone's attitudes changed. Jae calmly accepted his arrest order. Even Sung-hun was very concerned about him. Park Jim was the same, but that girl could be considered a monster he nurtured. But even Manhwa was very close to him. I guess that it was a good thing when everything wasn't a big deal. That's probably why the association wanted Hanjin, at least to communicate with him verbally. Back in the dilapidated building, Hanjin's eyes were dull and lifeless. Seeing the fake signatures, he noticed Jujin's strange attitude and asked. Jujin's attitude suddenly became sullen. I was wrong. If I knew they were like that, I wouldn't have chosen the easy way out from the beginning. The fake signatures didn't care about the opponent's attitude. Still, they asked Jujin relentlessly. Jujin rubbed his face, annoyed. Yes, I'm feeling very scared. It seems like the building has completely collapsed. I'm sorry, of course, this isn't what my younger brother did. It's a recently undiscovered dungeon. I guess people haven't seen it yet, right? It's a giant dragon, you bastards. If you want to write an article saying that the ABS president is causing chaos, at least do it like this. At the same time Jujin spoke, a large dark shadow appeared in the sky, quickly descending with large feet landing, causing the ground to tremble. The fake signatures panicked and fled in disorder. Jujin squinted at the fake signatures who were about to run away, then snorted, hiding behind the screen, writing fake news to stir up trouble. This time you've played big. He called for JS in dragon form to scare them away. JS didn't forget to tease Jujin. I'm here, sweetheart. I've helped my sweetheart as requested. So now, sweetheart has to take care of our baby. It was a scene beyond imagination. A dramatic turn after this event. Surely, whatever the public was focusing on would be resolved. I was also stunned by the news exploding about the dungeon collapse, the sudden appearance of a giant black dragon in the fairy tale story Sleeping Beauty. This was a show staged by Doojin. JS was soaking wet and smashing through the crowd of reporters who had been eagerly interviewing him just moments ago, now running like ducks. Doojin watched the journalists scatter, some in a frenzy of excitement, shouting happily, "Have you all seen the news about Chairman Abbas losing control? It's all a hoax," Noah exclaimed, looking up. "Look at her, sweating bullets," he said to Doojin. "Are you sure this is okay?" Doojin chuckled lightly. "It's fine, I've checked. There's no one in that building." JS exclaimed loudly, filled with amusement. "Ha ha, just as the princess desires." JS wreaked havoc freely, while Doojin reveled in the enjoyment. Doojin relished in the satisfaction. "Oh my, I should have done this from the beginning. This is the simplest way to prevent the Awakening Center from opening. Just destroy the entire facility," JS said, laughing heartily. As per the princess's wish, JS was causing destruction unchecked, while Doojin was enjoying himself immensely. Doojin was blissfully immersed in satisfaction. "This should never have happened, as I spoke to them politely, but everything was destroyed by the selfishness of the association," JS said, his face turning pale. "I don't understand why you're here," he said to Doojin. "I thought you were resting today." "Yes, I saw you on the news, so I came here. We were so busy talking to each other that we didn't notice Som-T staring at us." He must have known that this commotion was caused by Doojin, but there was no evidence against them. They happily chatted without paying attention to their surroundings. Noah came over and shielded him from Som-T's gaze. "It's just for us two," Noah said, looking at Doojin with a pleading look. Doojin finally glanced over, greeted them, and then walked away with Noah and Juhan without saying a word. Som-T watched them leave without saying anything, unable to intervene or stop them. Doojin calmly walked away, but Som-T couldn't shake off the thoughts in his head. He had thought they were the ones controlling him, exerting a weak pressure like a child playing with their pet, but it seemed he had been mistaken. It appeared that this pressure had tamed those monsters, making them obedient to him. On the way back, the two brothers had a conversation. Do-Hoo informed Doojin that he had just had a private conversation with the manager, but his attitude was uncooperative. Doojin was not surprised at Do-Hoo's behavior, knowing Som-T's personality well, so he responded without any surprise. Doojin was more concerned about something else. He turned to Juhan and asked, "Have you heard about the recent activities of the council? They've been bothering you, right? Can you do anything about them?" Juhan interrupted, but Doojin stopped him. "You don't need to do that. He doesn't have to do that," he said firmly. "Even if I don't want to, I'll still do it," Doojin replied. "So tell me, what's going on?" Reluctantly, Juhan revealed that there was a group within the council trying to negotiate with an external country using Jun's image and sharing. This revelation shocked Doojin. He hadn't expected the rotten council to dare to use his image to benefit another country. He grimaced, wondering if they were planning to sell him like a commodity. "What the hell? I thought they were trying to use me," Doojin said. "It seems like they're trying to use you for their own benefit. It looks like there's internal division within the council," Doojin continued. "That's true, some people want to do that, like Manhwa," he said, "but we can handle them. But if they're trying to sell you to another country, that's a different story." Doojin hesitated for a moment, "But the council, you can't let everyone hate me because you're okay with it." But Jun doesn't care about that. Right now, the main thing is to make those lurking in the shadows bite the bait. Doojin takes out his phone to make a call. You pick up the phone calmly and say, "Hello, manager, done with that. I confess, just now I instructed Noah to defeat the hunters at the association. Your sudden action surprised your brother. He's stunned. What are you planning?" Doojin, you smile faintly and conclude, "Let's end this. Don't let it drag on. The association has deceived us for so long. Now is the time to retaliate." After the commotion at the center yesterday morning, Jun's spirits are high. He's cheerful, playing around with the kids. It turns out he arranged a meeting with many reporters. He wants to publicly share this through the media. During the interview, there's a sweet voice calling, "Hey, have you eaten?" The young chairman of the association, who usually appears cold and imposing, is gone. In his place is an image of an adorable, obedient younger brother. You blend into Jun's acting. Jun also quickly stands up to greet his brother, eyes full of anticipation. The three of you, in front of the reporters, happily joke around, looking like innocent, joyful children. Indeed, as expected of a superb actor like Jun Yoon and your brother portray a completely opposite, adorable image from before. Truly, the plan is a success. Each reporter has a different view now. Chairman of the association, ABS, is so happy to see you here. Amazing. You're so different from what the news portrays. The chairman chuckles, embarrassed. I'm just trying to be trustworthy in the eyes of the media. You reply. The reporters are amazed. Oh, such unexpected charm. Is this the true personality of the new 20-year-old chairman? Seeing the intimacy between the two brothers, the reporters are deeply moved. It's indeed a perfect plan. The main act has arrived. The villain in the melodrama of the two brothers' affectionate scene has appeared as planned. However, he's stuttering as he hands over his industry card, apologizing for hindering the hunters. Jun has been arrested for involvement in harming 3 senior hunters of the association. All eyes are on Song T. He doesn't give the other side a chance to explain, immediately handcuffing Jujin. Jun protests loudly, "No, this can't be happening. Why are you accusing him? It's me who's harming the senior hunters. How can you accuse my weak and delicate brother? It's all because of me. I'm just a fragile pawn." The incident unfolds too quickly. The reporters are still confused. What's going on? Why is Hunter Hanjin being arrested live on TV? What happened? Song T bows, pretending to be worried, but in reality, he's laughing at the success of the media manipulation plan. The negative publicity has successfully shifted to the association. This time, they can't wash away the stain, even if they jump into the Yellow River. Jujin's interview is broadcast live on social media, attracting an unprecedented number of viewers. Jun's sudden charm captivates the audience. A series of positive comments keep pouring in. "Oh my God, this is the true personality of the 20-year-old chairman. I've never seen him so adorable before." Those who used to think the two brothers were in trouble now have a completely different perspective. A slew of thrilling live-stream titles featuring the rarely seen charming smile of the ABS chairman caught during the interview with the world's only monster trainer's father flooded in. The comments kept pouring in, increasingly positive. In a moment, the two brothers became idols of the youth. Song T's appearance and Jujin's arrest only added more drama to the story. Jujin's fearful expression caught the attention of the Sky God. "Oh heavens, what's happening? Have I harmed a high-profile hunter?" Jujin was dragged away without a word of explanation. His younger brother, seeing his beloved older brother suddenly taken away, rushed to intervene. "Stop! How could my brother do such a thing?" he exclaimed. "Don't worry, I'll handle this," said Du-hun, his worried face only adding to his charm. They were indeed the perfect lead actors. Jujin sobbed uncontrollably. "Don't worry, I'm the captain. You can't be involved," he reassured. "Don't worry, I'll be back soon," he pretended, making the drama even more intense as Myung-yu and Noah hurried over, their expressions filled with concern. "Please, stop. Don't be so heavy-handed with Jujin. Our pressure on him is just minimal. Why do you have to put him in chains? He's fragile and delicate. He doesn't deserve to end up in prison. It's so suffocating there. He's a top-notch actor and director in the universe. Under his guidance, everyone becomes a deserving award-winning actor." His sparkling eyes brim with gratitude for everyone's concern. Not only that, his children have now arrived. Their bright eyes look at Jujin as if asking, "Daddy, where are you going? Who is that person?" Jujin quickly turns away, hiding his handcuffs, crying softly. "I can't let the children see me being arrested," he says. Peace, his older brother, understands the situation and steps forward to intervene. "Come here," he says, comforting Blue. "Don't worry, Dad will be fine. Uncle Tho needs his help. When he returns, he'll buy us lots of food. You promise to be good, right?" Blue nods, wiping his tears. "Dad, please come back soon. We'll wait for you," he says. However, Song T remains cold and indifferent, escorting Jujin away, leaving behind tears of pity and their collapse. These people, not only humans but even animals, are all great actors. Surely, Jujin will be honored to receive the Best Director award at the upcoming Gear event. The tragic story of Jujin's farewell has been widely circulated in the media, leaving everyone in tears. The image of his exemplary older brother, Hanjin, being arrested on live television, sparked a strong backlash. Numerous comments defended Jujin and criticized the ruthless association continuously brought up. How could coercion harm class actors? Those people are crazy. Coercion is no different from ordinary people. Why treat him like this? Oh God, it's heartbreaking. Such behavior is shameful for the country, even on live television, just for that rotten organization. It's just a protest. If this continues, even those who haven't awakened yet will be treated unfairly. The media completely lost control after that event. An underground rule emerged, BB, an acronym describing people as the first letter B for beauty, representing beauty, the second B for bis, monsters, and the third B added later, symbolizing babies, representing innocence. Jim crying silently on television. Oh God, he was arrested while still in the dungeon. Why does the media twist her story? She cried as soon as she came out of the dungeon. Never mind the media's confusion. Jujin is now living comfortably inside, eating and drinking well. Oh God, let me out of here. I might get fat. The contrast between Jujin's relaxed attitude and Song Ti's discomfort is striking. He mentions the rising fame of ABS president, contrasting with the continuous complaints about Jujin's behavior. The news is good, but it makes my face twitch. I disagree with things going this far. Jujin is calm. How can you say that? You agreed to join us to get rid of the rotten elements of the association. But it turns out, not only family members, but even someone as upright as Song Ti is also an actor under Hanjin's direction. He secretly proposed to Song Ti that he himself would become bait to lure out the hidden kidnappers within the association. Jujin calculated that if he left the safe zone, those who wanted him for sure wouldn't miss this opportunity. The Hunters Detention Center is also part of the association. This is the best place to lure out those people in the dark. But Song Ti is also worried. This straightforward person may ruin the plan. He speaks up, the name of the ABS president, who has been rising in fame lately. On the contrary, the association has been constantly complaining that Jujin not only eats well but also responds well. It's good news, but it's annoying. I don't agree with things going this far. Jujin doesn't care. He takes a sip of orange juice, then speaks in a cold tone. It's just karma. I don't need to go this far. If it weren't for the association starting it first, I wouldn't have known. But with people following the party's ideology, I can't let the association tarnish its reputation. His response causes a commotion. I can stop this plan and send you back to enjoy the sun, he says. Why are you so impatient? They pressured the awakening centers without any preparation, and even manipulated the media. Last time, they covered up Choi Su's case. You've seen the dirty things they do. Why are you still on their side? Rin knows this personality caused Song Ti to be harmed to death. In the future, you'll keep saying that the reason I, as a government employee, should prioritize the people first. But hearing this, I can't help but laugh faintly. Oh, the people, huh? If the association collapses as you wish, then those in power will roam around causing chaos without anyone controlling them. And who will bear the consequences of those monsters? It's the people. So, you're adamant about how the world should be, but it's up to you. However, if you think I'm in cahoots with those in power, then you're mistaken. You're the one who misunderstands the issue here. We never wanted the association to collapse. What we want is for it to return to normal. Initially, the association wasn't like this. It became rotten since the villains took over. So, we need to remove these rotten blocks. And then, we can let worthy individuals lead the association in the right direction. At this point, Jujin chuckled mischievously, then stared intently at Songtan. Of course, the position of chairman is perfect for someone like you. Jujin continued. You misunderstand, Jin. The position of chairman is reserved for someone like you. It's perfect, Songtan retorted. But Jujin didn't seem intimidated. You're quick to act differently, he said. Think about it. Isn't it a waste of your abilities to kneel before others? Even someone like me, an oppressor, wouldn't do that. What you should do is lead. But you seem uncomfortable, constantly questioning me. Just because I'm in power, why do you want me to take that position? Song Tan replied, for world peace perhaps? Though it sounds somewhat sarcastic, it made Song Tan furious. You're just spouting nonsense again, he said, not letting Song Tan finish. Jujin's serious gaze made him pause. My tone is serious, Jujin said. If the association only cares about personal gain, it won't be able to prevent the abyss, and beyond that, the end of the world. We need the right person to lead the association through the world's changes. But you refuse to use your own power. You even deny having it. Are you human or just clueless? Jujin's relentless questioning seemed to push Somtan to accept his power and capabilities. What I want is simple. My younger brother, Han Han, should have a normal life, being a student, making friends, dating, getting drunk at home after a night of fun with friends. But because he's a level S, he can't. I want what you want, Jin. The abyss, the hunters, a peaceful life, just like before. But you know what? We can't turn back time. Jujin paused, looking serious. We can't turn back time, he repeated. You're just an exception. 1 in 7 billion, Somtan. Just act like you don't have power, like how you squeeze into that small car, take the subway, and accept that rotten association. You already have immense power in your hands. So, change. That evening, someone from the detention center came to inform Somtan that he would be transferred to a new facility. Jujin knew these were the kidnappers from the association. But instead of triggering the alarm, Jujin quietly left, leaving Somtan to perceive the news alone. When Somtan rushed back, the room was empty, except for a control device on the table. Jujin deliberately did this, apologizing silently to his boss. I'll let myself be kidnapped without giving the association a chance to bargain, Jujin thought. This time, he was determined to see it through. He was determined to expose and drag the rotten core of the association into the light. He was an outstanding actor on the surface, but behind that facade was a multi-level manipulator, just like those in the Three Kingdoms era.